Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Hello, hello, hello. We are here with Lisa Transcendence Brown as we talk about conscious upshifting. This is truly anchoring in our highest light and holding it, always coming from this place of love. Let's welcome Lisa. Lisa Transcendence Brown, thank you for being here.
Hey, Loren. Hey, everybody. I'm so happy you could join us. We love doing this, so thank you. It's important.
It is important. And one of the things that I want to talk about with you today, Lisa, because every time I talk with you on the phone, you say things to me that always send me in a mode of questioning. And
good.
True transparency here.
Gotta challenge the realities, girl.
Challenge the realities, even the realities of the screen behind me. Isn't that funny?
I don't know. We can see you.
I mean, so here, this is a time for all of us to be really real and authentic and staying anchored in love, in transparency, as the observer, because that's where true mastery is, if we can stay in this observer mode. So let's talk about ways that how do we know when we're actually falling out of consciousness? It's anytime that we're not in love, right?
Well, to begin with, yes, but it'll actually become much bigger than that. So in order to be fully conscious, you have to be present within the current moment and fully in tune vibrationally with everything that's occurring right now. And so one, if you're not coming from love and unity, and there's a difference between human love and higher consciousness love. Higher consciousness love is very pure. There's no attachments or strings or lack or need, and it's for all as one. And it comes from the depth at the core of our being and our soul, which is where everybody's got to finally eventually come to exist from. But to be the observer means that you're stepping back away from things and you're actually observing them as they occur, so you can understand how all comes to be created to start with, so that you get to have a choice in the vibration you want to transmit. So you get to have a choice in the reality you're going to be experiencing here, so that you get a choice in which dimension you're going to live in, which when we first all started this, dimensions were just a concept or a thing. And it was a very linear thing we tried to understand. But as the, before pre-2012, those everybody who was involved with being a part of the mass awakening that was occurring on an individual level then has continued on to fulfill much higher roles and purposes for humanity here. And we're all here as the gatekeepers and the grid keepers. We're all here as higher consciousness beings. We're all here to anchor unity and love and consciousness into the planet, with Gaia, and assist each person who is ready with awakening to what appears to be really bizarre and weird, because it doesn't fit into our old realities, and it takes a lot of presence and full consciousness. Being able to understand that each one of us walk in multiple dimensions and experience multiple dimensions simultaneously. If we're not fully conscious within the moment and observing, then we don't get a choice in the dimension we're actually functioning from. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. And so, on one side, it's really good to look at it that way, and everything that we're creating. I actually had that message. It was after I had spoken to you on the phone, and I was always miffed by, oh my goodness, how am I not being conscious all the time? And so that was the message that came to me. And it came at a time when there was an issue in a relationship. And it was very heated. And we're seeing this out in the world with our, it's being reflected back in the collective. There are people banging their fists and shouting, and
but that has to happen. It's a part of the process.
and so that was, so that miffed me. And so I went in and I asked that question, and then I got the observer, and it really is the game. So think of the reality that shifts as we really remain the observer in the heated situations, right?
Correct. Well, and what will happen is the more you become the observer, the situations won't become heated anymore, because you won't be inviting that into your life to keep having to repeat that cycle. It's an unconscious loop. It's a karmic timer. And so as each person becomes fully conscious and present and observes reality, you actually get a choice in what you're going to call forth and create. And this is a either recreate or a create. And so as we hold light, literally, our light body activates. As we hold Christed consciousness, literally, crystals in our body. As we hold plasma energy, literally, in our body, then our DNA rewrites itself. We become more conscious. We become much higher aspects and versions of ourselves, which is just a returning to everything that we forgot ourselves to be. It's a returning to purity. It's a returning to love. It's a returning to a unified field of consciousness where we function from. And functioning from this place of love and respect and kindness and consideration. When you observe anything that isn't that, then you're watching an old dimension. You're watching an unconscious reality where duality is still coming into play, where each person hasn't resolved those realities within themselves and shifted their vibration to a place of unity and love consciousness. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. It's really an unraveling.
You have to do this. There is no, it's somebody else's responsibility anymore. Each person is accountable for their own energy. Each person is responsible for their own energy and what they transmit out and project out into the world. And the beauty is when you project and transmit out your absolute highest vibration, then that's the experience that returns to you for you to experience here. It is that simple. Our human ego gets involved and complicates the whole thing. And so when it gets complicated, then each person is in their head. If we shift our whole body's consciousness, our whole being, into a place of it's not easy in the beginning because our ego ran the show, and New Earth and the higher dimensional realities that we actually live are based upon a surrender of our ego. And so it's a total surrendered state where we don't bring our ego into play anymore. So when you refer to it as a game, it is a game if you're playing in your ego.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's a
and
game.
we win the game. We win the game when we can be the observer. Because there's a reaction that
reality.
It's a reality. You create your reality.
Yes. But most people aren't present enough within this moment to be consciously aware of everything they're transmitting out.
Yes.
And so the more light we hold, literally light quotient, then we actually transmit light codes. We actually transmit through a unified field of consciousness. We transmit this energy that actually creates the reality we walk in. As we walk in, it's a vibrational response.
What do you do as you call in more light? Is there a specific technique that you do?
Whatever works. It's different each time. In the beginning, you have to do a lot of different things because we have so many ego programs still going on. Then we kind of have to outsmart our ego for a while. Basically, for a while, it's constantly walking around and saying, I surrender my ego, activate more light inside. Okay. It really is as simple as just saying it, but you have to really mean it. And when you say activate more light inside, then your vibration's going to raise, and the human body was operating at a lower frequency bandwidth, which is how the third and the fourth dimension, they function at a different frequency bandwidth. So the fifth dimension frequency, vibration of the physical body functions at a different frequency bandwidth. And so getting our physical body's vibration high enough to stay conscious means going to sleep, means shutting down, means pulling away from everything, means clearing your field from everything that's a disruption, that's a distraction, everything everything you surround yourself with has a vibration to it, has an energy to it. And it means really being choosy and picky as to what you're going to surround yourself with. It's either going to inspire and support creation. It's either going to inspire and support our new earth existences. It's either going to inspire and support unity and full consciousness, or it's going to be of an old, which is a disruption. It's either going to come from love, kindness, respect. And the thing about it is we have to live our whole life this way. There's no portioning out our life anymore to where this part is I'm gonna do it for a few minutes and then I'll go back to my life over here. Everything in our life has to be realigned on a soul level. Everything we do has to be aligned. Every act has to be aligned as our highest aspect of ourselves. And so we have to be that present with ourselves to figure out which aspect am I being right now. Have I just dropped down in consciousness, if you will, to my root chakra? I'm going to explain it many different ways. But this means each person observing themselves to pay attention so they can understand when they go unconscious again. And when you go unconscious, it just means your heart has closed and your mind has closed. When you go unconscious, it means you've separated off from your own pure source light. When you go unconscious, it means that you've dropped down. You've dropped your consciousness from up here, where freedom and bliss and magic and all these things exist, back down into your root chakra of survival mechanisms and protection mechanisms. And it's for the human aspect, they cannot see beyond themselves. The only reality they see is their own. And for all of us who come from our highest state of consciousness, we see all realities. We see beyond ourselves. We care about more than just ourselves. We actually get up each day in service to humanity, in service, the gatekeepers and the grid keepers and all these things. We have a bazillion roles that we have to fulfill in order to anchor higher dimensional realities into the physical here. And each person is this. It's just that some are not consciously aware yet and don't understand. So all the people that are getting knocked on their butt and can't get out of the bed or feel lethargic or drugged, that's all photonic light. If our reality is collapsing, that's the old dimensions, so that realities collapse in order to converge on a higher dimensional plane of existence through a higher state of consciousness. So everything in that reality, that entire frequency bandwidth, has to be up-leveled. And in order for each person to do this on their own, we basically, that's why I did this one on conscious up-leveling, or what did I call it? Conscious up-shifting. Each person comes to be so fully conscious of themselves that you actually, in every moment, you are up-leveling. In every moment, you're expanding into a higher state of consciousness. This isn't a reaching a certain state of consciousness and staying there and playing there and living there and just staying there. You will for a little while. But each person, once you activate New Earth inside of you and you come to understand the whole reason why you're here on this planet. Once you activate New Earth inside of you and you come to understand what's available, what our roles are that we play, the things we're here to fulfill, how we anchor heaven on earth, literally, you walk in heaven. It gets a bit bizarre. Everything's magical, everything's dreaming. The only time it's not is if you have a program come up, and the difference is when your program comes up, you just deal with it. You move it out. You don't believe it anymore. You don't engage in it. You don't go back in it. You're like, oh no, that's an old reality. And you just keep going. Now, if there's an emotion that accompanies it, then the emotion is what kept that reality in place. That emotion has to be felt because it was suppressed in the body and the body's trying to wake up. The body is releasing all of those programs, unconscious programs that were anchored in the body and suppressed the body. And what will happen is this is a very natural and pure existence. This is a very natural and simple existence. It's not complicated here. Love is simple. Everything is an act of kindness. Everything is reciprocation. Everything is generosity. Everything is unity. Everything is love. Our realities, everything in our reality is based on a foundation of unity, love, consciousness. We can't do this if we're not observing because we don't understand that we're running old programs.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to observe ourselves in order to understand. Our ego can't do this. Our ego is the issue. Our ego is the thing that separates us. Our ego is separation within itself. And so when we understand our ego and how we allow our ego come into play, how we, and you can vibrationally feel it. You can feel it energetically. It'll be the old energies that don't bring peace. It'll bring the old energies. Now, there's a period of when we first wake up. I break them down into dimensions in order to explain things, and it's frequency, bandwidth, and vibrational. But it doesn't really matter. Once you get to a certain place, you don't even care about those things. It's more for explaining so others understand. Does it make sense?
Well, when we're talking about feeling it,
Yeah.
we can literally feel the programs coming up within us. Yeah. You say that it's quite simple. Love is simple. So anything that's not love, we can literally feel in our body, right? Sometimes when we become ultra aware of it, all right, so we have this peace. We're in this love state. We are totally calm within our body. Yes. But then a program comes up and we can feel a pull, right? We can feel a pull maybe in the solar plexus. I like to think it feels like barbed wire on fine fabric, because when we get really aware of this, then you can see, right? And so when we've called this an explosive summer, it's that unawareness of it, and people are just getting riled to a boiling point or a boil over point.
Well, but it's important, yes, and this is true. And the thing about this is that our human aspect doesn't understand that our body's DNA is rewriting itself, that our body is recoding itself according to cosmic light codes that are activating 24 hours a day. And anything suppressed in our body that isn't of pure source light, that is not of purity, that is not of love, has to leave the body, has to go. It's the programs. And so in order for it to go, eruptions will occur, anger, all the emotions are the Akashic records. And there are different Akashas. We have a human Akash that and before physical body ascension occurs, then each person is clearing human karma, if you will. But once you get to, once you, how do I say this? Once you ascend your consciousness to be able to maintain that observer state, to maintain a place of kindness and love and respect and consideration and unity within ourselves, then what will happen is there will be a while where there'll be no karma. It's blissful, it's magical, but then we move into other phases because we enter full-blown multidimensionality at that point. And a multidimensional experience in every moment takes full conscious awareness. Otherwise, we're completely unconscious and we don't have a clue, and we don't get to pick the dimension we want to live in, if you will, or exist from, or our experiences here. because we're operating from a place of fear inside ourselves, which equates to
Yes.
lack.
Well, I can see where this is really the bifurcation of our planet then. Um, you know,
But that
the,
will occur inside of you, Loren. You will
the
go through that
bifurcation will
inside.
occur inside of
Yeah.
us.
It will occur inside of you. And when it happened for me, I was sitting in a Denny's writing Navigating Dimensions, because I would get up in the middle of the night and go out so I could work and stuff. And I'd drive somewhere that was open 24 hours so that I could actually start writing the book. And sitting in the middle of Denny's at 4 o'clock, and I'll never forget it because it was so profound. And all these things occur inside of us. There was a shift of a separation that occurred in my body, and it was so substantial. I actually stopped and picked up my phone and looked at the clock, and it was like 3 something in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what was that? And the words were, your earth's just separated. And what happens is once your earths separate inside of you, then there's more than one earth. And so the entire bifurcation, I can't even say the word, process.
Bifurcation.
Yeah, that one. You'll
Splitting.
find words are just a human thing. We don't even use words. You become so telepathic and energetic that the only time you have to talk is to explain something or teach somebody. The rest of the time, it's full energetic communication, and things are really easy when everybody's in unison and working from that place. And so the only time you speak is if you're having a blast and playing and working, because we work in service all the time. And so everything we're doing has to be in unison too, and everybody's got to be on the same page, because it's now vibrational frequency bandwidth and synchronization and all these things that we didn't used to do before we entered multidimensionality. When we move into multidimensionality, which most people don't understand, that when you walk in the outside world, you're walking in a multidimensional reality. And so in order to decipher your multidimensional experience, we actually have to open our heart and bring higher mind consciousness into it. And higher mind consciousness is a lot different than human unconsciousness, if you will, but we call it human consciousness. So the separation of the earths occurs, and you basically start living on new earth all of the time. And it's a transition process. And what will happen is your experiences will reflect your vibration, and your experiences will be blissful and magical and amazing. Even you, Loren, when you go out to your happy place, are they not amazing?
Mm-hmm. And the synchronicity is there.
But notice
Okay,
your
so
vibration when you're there.
all right, so explain that a little bit more. When we go outside, we are in a multidimensional existence.
In your house, you're in a multidimensional. Every moment, you're in a multidimensional experience.
Every moment, we're in a multidimensional existence.
Every moment is multidimensional. The only thing is our human ego aspect cannot understand, because our heart is closed. When we're in our ego, our heart is closed, and you have to open your heart to understand fully, not a little bit. There's a lot of people running around, if you will, saying, "Oh, my heart's open, my heart's open," but it's only a little bit open. It's just enough, but you can't do this with just a little, I'm going to get by anymore. The heart's got to be completely wide open, which is how everybody's stuff is coming up right now. Because when you open your heart wide open, everything's coming up with a vengeance. And the thing about it is we are in such high cosmic frequencies 24 hours a day. Then we have gateways opening that flood our bodies with high photonic light, that flood our bodies with all of these high frequencies. And when these gateways, I call them heart gates, because when these gateways open, then anything that needs to go is going, and it becomes this flood of emotion. It becomes a flood of whatever. And so, our human aspect will look and need a reason for it all. And you don't need a reason unless you need a reason. Does that make sense? And if you need a reason, you're going to get one. So stop looking for a reason. It's about really being present and tuned with your body and your own vibration and your own energy. so
Yes.
much that you're consciously aware when your vibration drops.
Okay.
You're consciously aware when you shift and your heart closes. You're consciously aware when you go into protection mode. You're consciously, because when you go into these modes, your body's muscles and your body shuts back down and resistance starts. And that takes your body back into an old dimension again. And you have to re-experience those loop cycles until you clear that energy so that your heart can open back again.
Yes.
When your heart
Okay.
opens, everything gets easy. The only
Okay.
thing is that every reality we have created from unconsciousness, we have to clear those realities. That's where the discomfort comes in.
Yes. Okay, this brings up a good point. Healthy boundaries.
Humans
So
only need
maybe
healthy
healthy
boundaries.
boundaries are creating the new reality out of the reality that was created unconsciously.
Yes.
So, for example, in a relationship, if we feel like we're being taken advantage of,
Then you're in victim mode and it's your ego.
that's a victim mode.
Yes. Nobody can
So,
take advantage of you if you're standing in your power through love.
so it's really standing in the power through love. I've witnessed the other person getting very angry.
Well, you're going to, because the root chakra was a manipulator, it was a narcissist. Everybody was a narcissist.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing about it is when the control mechanisms and the manipulation doesn't work anymore, then basically the ego goes into trying everything else to maintain control. It's a manipulation of emotions. It's a manipulation through fear. It's a manipulation through a lot of things. And it's old galactic, it's old Atlantean, it's all of these old energies. There's all these distortions from all of our existences that each person came here to clear. But I would say to you, Loren, when you say the other person's taking advantage of it, change the words.
Well, I actually, if I go in and I feel within my body, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
But
So
I
that's
mean,
what I ponder. So for others who do that
hold
too,
on,
like,
hold on, hold on. No, 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 no. You don't get to skip. Hold on. Come back. Come back. Come back. You know me. We're going to go there. Okay.
I'm
So
not
hold
going
on
in
for a minute.
punches.
Change your words. I am allowing myself
I'm
to be
allowing,
taken advantage of
I'm
because
allowing
I'm
myself
not
to be taken advantage of.
because I'm not loving and respecting myself.
Okay.
I'm not being honorable on a soul level. I'm giving my power away. We cannot be taken advantage of. That's an old program.
I'm allowing myself to be taken advantage of.
If you will put the words I allow in front of everything, you will stop allowing the old stuff.
Okay. That's a great tip, everyone.
Because we don't understand, we're the ones that keep allowing it. We're the ones that keep getting on a human level. Okay. You have human and you have soul. You have human and higher self. So higher self, soul, they're different aspects of things. Okay. And there's a bazillions of us. All right. The biggest thing is in the beginning, when we start to wake up, we only have two aspects, higher self and human. But then once you awaken to embody your higher self, then all your other higher selves wake up. And then you got to embody all these higher selves too. At first, our role is to learn to reverse everything from give our power away to take our power back. Stop blaming everybody else. Start standing in your power as love and respect for yourself, and you'll stop accepting less. Start honoring yourself. Start choosing you, because until you do, you're of no service to anyone. It's a part of our service here in the beginning is learning to bring all of our energy back inside and hold ourselves accountable and hold our light. Our role here is to be light. Our role is to be love. And every experience we have is going to show us where we're not capable of that And if we're not capable yet, we're going to go through it until we get tired of it and we get exhausted and our ego breaks down. And then when our ego breaks down, we'll get so fed up or so broken that we'll say, I'm ready to be done with this. I'm exhausted. And we don't understand. We're the ones that created all that to start with. We're the ones that allowed all that to occur. We're the ones that put our energy into all that. That's how it came to be to start with. When you take your power back and you pull your energy back inside, you'll no longer go play in those realities anymore. When they come around, you will look at them and go, no, this isn't aligned on a soul level. This isn't pure. This isn't kind. This isn't respectful. Only our human needs boundaries. Once you hold yourself to your highest place and align your whole reality, you don't need boundaries because you're not bringing those people into your reality anymore. You're not creating them.
Yeah, that's the next part of this question, Lisa, is the relationship. So because we are in a non-victim role then, and we love and respect ourselves, then it actually means saying, can't hang out with you, or I love you, but, right? Actually saying no to another person and not hanging out with them.
Part of our vocabulary at first. You're going to say no to everything for a while because you never said no before.
Right.
Throat chakra.
Mm-hmm.
When I first came into unity consciousness and I started looking at the outside world and observing how it functioned, every time I came into a reality that wasn't aligned, I had to say no, because it's a part of aligning your reality. As a master being, as a higher self aspect, as your ascended aspect of you, we have a feminine and a masculine, divine feminine, divine masculine, divine child. We have all these different aspects and stuff. But part of this is bringing your whole reality into alignment with purity, love, consciousness, and holding it there and recognizing when it's not and then dealing with it. Our human didn't want to deal. Our human wanted to ignore and avoid. Our human was complicit. Our human was compliant. Our human aspect, our ego aspect created all of this to start with. When you elevate your consciousness to see your human programming, then your response is very different. You're also not blaming anybody for anything. You're not angry at other people anymore because you don't keep giving your power away. You don't keep compromising. Anger is we compromised.
Yes. And so if you are I had coffee with a friend earlier this week, and in her life, she's not feeling the love from family members.
That's
and so it really is what's that?
That's because it's time for her to love herself.
Yes. See,
when we love ourselves, and this is key, when we come to love ourselves, we will no longer accept the old realities.
And sometimes that means to part ways with those until they can, I mean, hopefully, if it's a family member, you would hope that you would be able to influence them, right? The Lemurian love. We had hoped to influence the laggards who came in.
Throw the word hope out. The hope is a killer for us, okay? We don't hope anything.
Expect. No, we don't expect. We realize.
How do you actualize your higher dimensional realities into reality? You have to be it.
The feeling, the vibration,
You have to be it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be it. If you are not being loving to yourself, if you are not being kind and respectful to yourself, you are going to call everybody forth that shows you where you're not.
And
that's how this works.
Okay. And so if you're allowing yourself to feel sad because of a family member, you're giving your power away.
I got to stop you. Yes. Well, no. Yes and no. There's a huge grieving process that goes along with it.
Yeah.
You're going to grieve all of your old identities. You're going to grieve and mourn and all that, let all that stuff go. We actually have to do that part of the process, because look at the words you're using. She's trying to hold on to the family. It's her lack.
There's also family programs, family belief systems that you have to be there for family. There's spiritual belief systems that say, if you really want to work on your spirituality, go love your family.
Okay, so throw the word spiritual out because that's an old word too.
Consciousness has taken over.
So let me ask you a question. Is that the kindest and most loving thing? See, this is the thing. There are so many unconscious programs that have been masked and are we call it pretending. You're pretending again.
Okay.
Okay. You can't pretend to be pure. It's either pure, your soul is pure. All the rest of it is ego. Your soul is nothing but pure love. All the rest is your ego.
Okay.
Every bit of it. We had no idea how deeply embedded the programming was in our body. Even what you just said to me about her and her family, it's all attachment and entangled realities.
Yeah.
We have to detach, pull our energy back in, hold ourselves accountable for our energy and what we're transmitting out, and we give the gift of responsibility back to each person to be responsible for themselves. The thing about it is that when you are holding light and you are coming from your highest level of consciousness, you have the capability to share that consciousness with the people around you. You have the capability to be the one that holds the realities in place. You have the capability to be the one that dictates the reality from love, kindness, and respect. This is the key here. As an ascended being, you are the one that holds realities in place. You don't go small and go back into your ego and play in the program game. Family is a human creation. Family is for a while, it's our weakest. It represents all of our distortions. You have soul family, you have star family, and you have human family. Can you tell the difference in the vibration of those three?
Absolutely. Yes. Oh my gosh. I know there's lots of light workers out there that are like, how did I choose this family?
We all did. I chose the most distorted because this was my only existence. I had to choose the worst, the harshest, the roughest, the ones that had no love in them, because I had to learn to love myself beyond all of the horrible things that happened. That was my soul's chosen experience here. I can't help others come to a place of loving and respecting themselves unless we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Once you have transcended all of those ego games, you have the capability to assist others with doing the same. But not until, because you're still playing in it. Once each person comes to look at the experience and understand that they are soul agreements, then they have purposes, there are reasons that don't fit into the human reality of how any of this came to be. Humans love to say, I didn't choose any of this. Yes, you did. On a soul level, you did. Your human didn't. Your ego isn't going to like any of this. That's how this goes. If you're in your ego, you're going to fight this kicking and screaming. You actually have to stop and open your heart and choose to let it all go.
You actually have to stop and open your heart and choose to let it all go.
Because it's your prison inside. It's your constructs of a reality you're holding onto that don't even exist anymore. They're a story.
Yes. Yes. They don't exist anymore.
They're a story you carry forth and keep recreating in this current present moment, this space right now, because you're insisting that's still your reality. Because you can't let it go. When you are ready to be free, you'll let it go. When you're ready to be happy, you'll let it go. When you're ready to experience pure joy and bliss and magic, you'll let it go. When you're tired of suffering, you'll let it go. When you're tired of being unhappy, you'll let it go. Not until, though.
Oh boy, we'll keep repeating it. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
until you're tired. And what happens is when you get tired, that means your ego is finally breaking down. Most of us who were really strong ego, we all had to be dropped to our knees
Yeah.
and stripped of everything to wake us up. That's the reason we all do what we do, is to assist the entire population of humanity with waking up without having to go through the intensity and the suffering like we all did, because we learned from it and we turn around and we share the teaching. That's what this is about. We share the information, we share the knowledge from the highest dimensional place possible, which is our level of consciousness, and all the understandings of how all of this comes to be to start with. We don't have to keep going through the old ways anymore unless we do. We don't have to suffer anymore unless we do. Suffering opens our heart. It breaks our ego down. And there's a lot of suffering that has to occur to break the ego down. Once your ego is broken, you'll stop suffering.
Okay. Clarify in your own life how your ego is your ego a friend now, or did you totally break it
My
down and
ego is a
say, see,
program.
the ego is a program? Okay.
So anytime, once you've aligned your entire reality with love and purity, you rarely see your ego anymore. You can see your programs. They come up, they're just holographic. They're just, you can see them. They come up in just little visual images, or you can feel an emotion coming up. You're like, oh, there's some fear. Okay, well, that's not real. And even, there's no power. You don't give it any power.
Yes. Don't give it any power.
It's like, oh, clear the body. I can walk around all day long, clear, 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 and go on, and I can be in service to humanity, and I can get my jobs done, because I don't bring the emotion in and get all caught up in the heavy duty stuff anymore, because I've cleared the heavy duty stuff. That's what we did for years. There is so much anchored in our body that we do not have a clue.
Wow.
And it takes years to do this. This is not an overnight process. Every light body phase that I went through took about a year and a half minimum, once the first 40 years of clearing fear occurred. So we don't understand. We've always been doing this. We didn't just start waking up one day. The whole human experience is called Earth School.
Yes.
And the thing about it is that when we start to awaken, we've got so many fears and protection mechanisms and constructs for what reality is supposed to be, that we won't listen, that we won't open up, that we refuse, that we have all this resistance in the body. We have all these linear constructs, all these boxes that everything we try to fit it into. All those go. None of multidimensionality fits into a box. You can forget it. It obliterates the whole thing. And basically, that's what photonic light obliterates the old. And photonic light is the light of our soul. Photonic light is quantum. And so each person's body, anybody going through a challenging time with their body is breaking down the linear constructs, which is the programming. There's a lot. This is a massive process. It's not just one thing, it's everything.
Yes.
And it's 24/7, because when your DNA starts rewriting itself, you don't get to control the process anymore.
Share a little bit more about what it means for the DNA to rewrite itself. Is it when we open the heart and allow this to come in? It's literally changing
the constructs of your cellular makeup, your molecular structure, structures of your realities actually change as a vibrational response to your physical body and what your body holds. Everything is in your body. Your whole reality is a vibrational response to the consciousness of your body. Your DNA is activated through universal and cosmic light codes and frequencies that are activating cosmic rays, gamma frequencies, ultrasonic frequencies. You've seen me write these things for years, right, Loren? Teaching people on the light body and what's going down 24 hours a day. In my early years, I had to sit on Facebook 24 hours a day and write every time the frequencies changed to get people so present with their body. Your body's going to start breaking out. Your body's going to start itching. Star particles just started activating. That's your DNA. You have star codes, you have soul codes, you have crystalline codes, you have all these different codes that activate inside of your body and rewrite the constructs of your entire makeup, your genetics, everything gets rewritten. Everything. And the whole physical reality is a vibrational response to how your DNA is rewritten. So when we first came into a human body, our human DNA held distortions. We have a body template, and our entire template has to be rewritten back to an original template. And so our human experience was relative to our human body and the codes that it held. So when it's time for each person to wake up and actually ascend their consciousness first, consciousness rewrites your DNA. Consciousness rewrites through geometric codes, quantum physics, all of these things that our human doesn't have the capability to understand. All the intelligence of the entire cosmos and universes is inside of our body. I can listen to my DNA. I can talk to my DNA. It's a completely interactive experience. Okay, I just call it my universe, because you become the whole universe. You actually will lay down and your consciousness will expand and your body, the gravity in your body will shift. If you're fighting the process, then you're going to have a very different experience. You know, a lot of people like, oh, gravity just went, or I'm bobbly headed, or, you know, I can't focus, or I can't see, or my hearing. All of this is a part of your consciousness expanding from inside of your body. It'll drop your sugar down, your entire endocrine system, your lymphatic system, every organ in the body, everything has to be rewritten inside of the body. The skin, the flesh, the blood. 24 hours a day, we're going through this. We have been for years. It's just that we don't understand. Our whole body is frequencies and tones and energy and form.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Lisa, I have some questions for you here.
Cool.
I'd like to do two things.
Okay.
You talk a lot about the New Earth grid and the crystalline grid.
Yes.
And you actually said activating New Earth within yourself, within ourselves.
It's in your muscles. The grid work for your entire existence is in your muscles.
Okay.
Your bones are the structures.
All right. So then let's go to how we activate New Earth within us then. And then we're going to do an experiment where we can feel into, maybe all of us, maybe you can guide us into feeling into the grid, because I've done that with you and it is magnificent. And it really is where our attention should be, right? So how do we activate New Earth within us?
You just have to want to. You just have to care that much. It has to be a priority.
And New Earth meaning it's this pure love, unity consciousness.
It is an entire, I'm going to say this from different ways. It's an entire dimensional realm existence of anchoring heaven on earth through our physical bodies, where we actually experience a whole different reality that isn't visible to from the lower dimensions, if you will. It's more vibrant, it's more colorful. You remember when you flew out and I'm like, look at the clouds, look at all this, and I'm like, New Earth, and yeah. That's a part of, you know, the clouds are interactive. I mean, you can actually watch DNA appear in the sky. It's really cool. It's this entire interactive experience with Gaia. Yeah. It's a deeply connected state of consciousness from within us with all things as one. You actually will breathe with Gaia. You will actually birth New Earth from within you. Your belly will blow up with photonic light. You will have labor pains. You will breathing. You know, it's a very weird, bizarre, real experience. I was writing one day on Facebook and I'm like, get ready, people. Here we go. Contractions just started. Now I'm not going through anything. I hear, see, feel all the frequencies and I'm writing it. And you know, sometimes I will. I can feel a little whatever. But some lady came on, she says, I was just sitting out on my patio wondering if you were being literal. And she said, and my belly blew up and the contraction started. She's like, you're being really, you're serious. I'm like, I'm very serious. Yeah. People think I'm joking.
Yeah.
They have for years. They haven't taken any of this serious. Well, now they are. Look at what's going on in the world. Okay? Higher consciousness changes everything. Higher consciousness, each one of us have to do this ourselves, though. Okay? There are ways to accelerate, there are ways to do it easier. There are ways to choose this instead of being drugged through it upside down and by your feet kicking and screaming. There are ways to do it without suffering so tremendously, like our masculine ego aspect. You have a masculine and a feminine ego, okay, and the little child and all these kind of things that we have to resolve all these things. But at first, until our pineal gland completely evolves and opens up, until the crystals in our body have come online enough that we can actually hear, see, feel through our DNA and light codes and all of these things, we have to close our eyes and go inside and sit and learn to be and let everything go. And listen to your head, listen to what it's saying, don't try to ignore it. There are ways to shift the vibration of your thoughts. There are ways to do these things, but each person basically has to choose to do the work. So this is a process of choosing to do whatever it takes to awaken your entire everything to a new earth existence. We do have to be willing to commit ourselves to a life of service, to humanity, service to everything as love. And our human says, oh, I'm not ready for that yet. And it waits until it's forced.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a choice. And it's so desperate for a new reality that it's begging. We don't have to do those ways anymore. But we do if that's the only thing that will get our heart open. Then that is the path we choose. And we start to understand, you know, the thing about it is that the last few years have been the most amazing of all.
Certainly gotten easier while intense. There's a flip side and there's a bliss side.
But look, it's only intense for your ego.
Yes. Yes.
It's only intense for your ego. Your highest aspect of you is just fine.
Yeah.
Intense. Yes, it'll get intense energetically because your light body, when it activates inside of your body, it's going for all your fears. When your light body activates inside of your body, and everybody's light body has activated, by the way. We have a third dimensional light body, a fourth dimensional light body, a fifth dimensional, all the way up. We're on the 12th dimensional template with Gaia right now. We have much higher body templates that we have a purification template and all these things occur. The thing to understand is that we can either jump all in with everything we've got and do it much easier, or we can take what I call the scenic route, which takes forever and it prolongs suffering, if you will. Those of us who came to understand how this works, we just went all in, and it might be more intense in the moment, but it's the fastest path to clearing all that stuff really quick and moving through it and expanding. You have an expansion as a higher consciousness. You have an expansion of your soul. You have an expansion on an energetic level from the inside out, and you have a contraction. And when you contract back down, your heart closes and you re-enter the old dimensional realities again. And so it means each person, the more human, when I refer to human, I'm talking about the ego, okay? The more human we are, the more ego we have, the more we have to close our eyes to bypass our linear mind, to bypass. You're going to bypass your ego in order to tune your consciousness, your energy from a different place inside of you. In order to open your heart and listen to your soul inside of your body. Your soul's inside of your body. Your light body is your soul body. Your light body is your higher self. Your light body is all of these different things, and it's you'll feel it through electrical currents. You'll feel it through shocks and jolts. You'll feel it through any physical pain you feel. Is your light body activating and clearing the programming out of your body? Everything we experience is a part of this. The only thing is that if we're unconscious, we don't understand how anything comes to be. When you're fully conscious, you understand how everything is. And the more you have been able to integrate your own light, and that's key. If you're not integrating your light on a daily basis, your realities are going to go sideways. We have to integrate 24 hours a day. It becomes our priority, and we integrate first, and then we get up and do the things that are aligned on the soul level. Everything's backwards here. It's the opposite of the way it used to be. Used to be it was go, 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 go until we collapse, and then we need some sleep. We need to, we need to rebuild our energy. Now it's lay down and go to sleep, lay down and rest. Let your body regenerate, let your light body build itself, and then get up and go. But you have to focus your energy on what's highest aligned, because if you give your energy away, then you're going to deplete yourself, and your realities are going to come back to 0 point where you're not going to have anything, because that's how we lose things. You're not really losing anything. 0 point field means everybody's reality has to go through a reset on every level. And if we understand this, then we can do this ourselves consciously, and it can be easier. But it's going to be all new rules. It's cosmic law. It's universal law. It's on a soul level, which is a very different reality than the old human one was. It means completely being consciously aware of yourself in every moment, and which aspect you are being right then. Which aspect am I? Oh, I just dropped down into my root chakra and went back into fear. Oh, my heart's wide open. I'm happy, blissful, magical, and I'm fulfilling my highest purposes here. I'm being light. I'm being love. I'm affecting reality. And the thing about it is we're here to affect and influence reality as love. We're here to make a difference. We're sharing everything. We share the knowledge. Gatekeepers and grid keepers, we have access to everything before it occurs. Sometimes umpteen thousand years before it occurs. We see everything before it happens. We're going into Venus retrograde transit, which is going to take everybody into relationships, everything. Now, the beauty is when you understand the whole cosmos is inside of your body. When a planet activates, whatever it activates, then you're going to go through any distortions. You're going to go through any clearings. You're going to go through anything that's not aligned to align it yourself. When you function from that aligned place, these things are awesome. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship to everything comes into play. Our highest relationships are come out of a unified place inside of us where we're unified. We're not playing in duality anymore. When you come from that unified place, that unified state of consciousness in everything that you are and do, then you can connect with other people who are unified and conscious too. It's a vibrational match. Your reality is a vibrational match to everything that you hold and transmit out 24 hours a day. It's important to understand there isn't one version of Earth anymore. Right now, we're running, a bazillion.
Multiple.
I mean, they're infinite. When I get up, I don't get up and go look at the world out there to go see what everybody else's, to see what reality is for me. I get up and go look and see what everybody else's dimensions and reality are. And then my world is going to be my reality and what I'm doing. They're all different dimensions. They're all different realities. And the beauty is our new realities don't fit into any of the old realities concepts of what reality is. It gets bizarre and weird because when your body is activating photonic light, your pineal gland will activate. It'll start releasing DMT and melatonin. It'll shut your body down. It starts releasing all these different chemicals. And you start having weird and bizarre experiences. It becomes very plasmic. It becomes very organic. Everything's in flow. Everything's beautiful. It's very surreal a lot of the time. There's a lot of walking around foggy, groggy too. As you're anchoring the heavy duty photonic energies here, then it's harder to function. So we actually have to learn how to do everything all over Everything has to be relearned. We basically start with a blank canvas and we start from scratch, literally with everything in every moment of every day. This moment dictates what's going on in this moment right here, what energies are present right now, what's going on. And if you're not present in this moment, you're not getting a choice. And the thing about it is you have to let all judgment go.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment's a killer.
Mm-hmm.
It is the source of all of your misery.
Yeah.
Okay. The moment you let the judgment go, you quit worrying about what everybody else is saying and doing. You don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you let the judgment go, you can actually step into your highest everything and fulfill your highest purposes here, because you're not minimizing yourself and you're not trying to fit into the old realities of limits of the ego anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You actually can become your highest everything that lives the most amazing everything here when you transcend all judgment within you, which is going to be one of the hardest things everybody does. Judgment is in everything for a long time. And I'm watching it now. I wrote a long thing on judgment recently because I woke up and I looked out in the world and I saw people just ridiculously all up in every kind of judgment. That's not my reality. My reality is awesome. I write for other people so that it helps them.
Well, the Bible said the last judgment, right? And it's even in the tarot cards. So it really is an important piece. And I just want to mention out in the outer reality, one of the interesting things was that, you know, we see this Supreme Court hearing in the United States. Some of us do. You don't see that, Lisa.
I've seen it.
But
There's an
anybody
important
who breathes on this planet can't help but see something of that experience come into their field. And my instinct, and it's really been like helping clear a lot of things. So we can say, thank you for helping us clear that Supreme Court hearing, Charles. And it really is very, very interesting. But what I noticed personally myself was, here I was judging someone who was acting a certain way. And then I realized, well, I'm guilty of that too. I myself have raised my voice and pounded my fist and stomped my feet.
Yeah.
So perhaps that's the clearing too. And so when we're talking about judgment, that is a deep one, Lisa. That is so
it's
deep,
beyond deep.
because
It's in everything for a
when we
while.
pass someone on the street, we smile at that person because of a judgment. We have it's just human nature.
Well, but that's the thing
Must
about
go.
this is to become so consciously aware of yourself that you can actually transcend that judgment inside.
Yes, transcending it.
You have to transcend judgment altogether. See each other as equal and totally sovereign and master beings. We have to treat each other with respect. We have to treat each other with love and care. We have to treat each other. Our behavior, it matters.
Yeah.
Everything we do matters here.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're the ones that are fully conscious, we're not behaving the old ways anymore. We're not treating people like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We don't keep doing the inhumane things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Those things that you look out there and see that are not okay, it's up to each person to step up and say no more. It's not okay, because as each person does, that's what makes change.
Yes.
That's how it changes. But the ego will always be a victim to it. But there's a lot of Akashic clearings going on right now for a lot of people because of the emotions that were trapped in their body that they never resolved or dissolved. And so a lot of things that are occurring are to clear those lower I'm using the word higher and lower because I'm talking about frequency bandwidths right now.
Mm-hmm.
The physical body cannot get into the next highest dimension as long as those lower frequency vibrations are still held in the body. It's anchored in an unconscious dimension.
Mm.
And so in order for the body to raise its vibration, it's got to clear all those programs which come out by way of emotion. Eventually you clear all those programs and your base emotion, your primary emotion is love.
Yeah.
That's where you function from. Everything it emanates from love and kindness and respect, but each person has to come to live their life this way. The reason everybody sees these things is because that's what everybody allowed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody participated in and supported with their lives. This is why everything is occurring, is to bring all of these realities into a higher state of consciousness. So that doesn't occur anymore. That's the whole point. But it takes each person being that conscious of themselves for that to happen. That's why all this is happening, because it was anchored in the body of each person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if every person gets up each day and their primary focus is making a difference and through love, if your primary focus is what you're transmitting out into the world, being kind, you don't know, I mean, everywhere I go, I buy groceries for people. Everywhere I go, I re-educate. I've, I sat with the homeless. I've driven them to the hospital. I picked people up. I put people up in my house. You actually have to care that much.
Mm-hmm.
The old separated ways of, well, that's their problem. We actually have to care about each other. Every time I go to the grocery store, I buy groceries for somebody. Every person I bump into, they get a hug. I don't want anything from them. I don't need anything from anybody. All we need is for people to step up. All we need, and we really don't even need that, because realities now are so multidimensional, All we need is for everybody to come from this place too. That's really all we need, is everybody to connect so deep inside of themselves on a soul level that that's how they live their lives too. You have to care.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to care. It's not that we don't care. The only difference is we're not trying to fix the broken. We're creating all new. And we are New Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the grid work of New Earth is us. You have to tune your energy and your consciousness into a higher dimensional plane of existence in order to see and understand. If you're tuning it to a lower dimension, I'm using higher and lower as frequency bandwidth. If you're tuning your consciousness to a lower dimension, then that's what you're creating in your reality.
All right, this brings us back to this. Let's call it an activation, because with everything with you, it is an activation. It's a light code activation.
Yes.
And let's be with this new earth crystalline, and let's attune to that crystalline grid. When you anchor into this place, or as we
Live
create
from this
it,
place.
mm-hmm.
Live from this place.
When we live from this place,
That's
live
important, Loren.
from
Live
this place,
from this
live.
place.
We
You're
live
not
from this
trying to get
place.
anywhere.
Okay, good. Thanks for the correction, because yes, we
We're
shift
not
our
trying
words.
to get anywhere. We're already here. And the last few days, it's really cool, because I woke up yesterday and it was like this weird cloud of energy lifted. And so everything that the last few days has been, like a lot of energy lifting and all.
Okay,
Because
good.
and it was really cool, because you can actually see how easy it is now. How easy it is just to be your highest everything. You don't have to try to do this. Your trying is your ego. You have to allow yourself to be. And so this is an allowing process. You allow yourself to be your highest aspect of yourself. You allow yourself to be your purest aspect of you. Stop pretending. You don't try to be love.
Okay.
You are love. You don't try. If you're trying, you're trying too hard. Does that make sense? You're actually working against yourself.
Yes.
This is a tuning your energy in through your heart and opening your heart and allowing everything else to fall away. Let it fall away. Let go. We have a saying, nobody cares. Doesn't matter anymore. Nobody cares. Only your ego does. Let it go. Bring yourself to a place inside of you where your heart can open completely up. Bring yourself back to this place, this space right here. Let it all go. It does not matter anymore. And the beauty is if you bring yourself to this place in this space and you choose to let completely go, this peace will come in, this beauty will come in. You might have some emotions come up. You might feel the need to cry. That's a cleansing process. It's a cellular cleansing. You might need to get angry. That's a cellular cleansing. You can do these cleansings and clearings consciously by understanding they're an important part of the process to clear your body of the density that you were holding, the unconscious programs you were holding, so that you can experience the magical and the amazing all the time too. This is an individual process that then connects up to a collective, a bazillion of them. But the two primary collectives are old earth or new. And in every moment you have to ask yourself, am I being my new earth aspect or am I being my old earth aspect? Your old earth aspect is your ego. Your new earth aspect is your highest aspect of you. Am I coming from love and purity and kindness? Am I reciprocating? Am I being respectful? Am I being considerate? Am I holding compassion in everything I do? Yet, pity and compassion, pity is ego, compassion is love. So we have to learn to understand the energies themselves. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If we're not in tune in this moment, we don't have a clue. If we're not in tune on an energetic level from inside through our, this takes pure consciousness to do. Fully conscious means your heart is open. Unconscious means your heart has closed. Unconscious means your mind is closed. Fully conscious means your heart is open and you see that you have alternatives. You see alternate reality. You see that you're creating different parallel realities to experience here. And when you understand how you're creating parallels and alternates, then you actually start choosing the ones, because you can look vibrationally down the entire timeline from this current moment and you can choose to go there or not. And you can then collapse the entire reality right then and go get another one. Really easy. Choose a different reality. Our human aspect says, oh, I don't have any other choices. That's all ego. That's what the ego loves to say. It's all BS. You always have a choice. Ego just doesn't like the choices it has because it's going to mess with their world. Ego doesn't like the choices because it's uncomfortable. Ego doesn't like the choices because they've affixed to the way they want their reality and they can't control it. So understanding all these things is really important because each person does have a choice. Each person can choose to be loving and kind and respectful in every moment. If you want to. If you don't, then you're the one that's going to suffer, because it's going to come back around and it's going to whop you upside the head. Yeah. Really hard too. And when you get tired of being whopped upside the head and your reality's collapsing, you'll actually shift your consciousness yourself. And that's how this works for each one of us.
Truly, it's the return to love. It's the pure love, unity, consciousness. And let's be gentle on ourselves as we walk this path and be it, really.
It's a returning to what we all fell from consciousness. It's a lifting back.
Lifting back.
It's an elevation of consciousness. It's a return back into the higher dimensional realms where we all started from. So you're returning to an existence you forgot. You're returning to be pure love. Lemurian, we've got the Atlantean existences. You've got all of your galactic existences. You've got all your sacred existences, which are divine and holy and all these things. And this isn't a religious thing, okay? That's just a distortion, if you will. It's a very deeply sacred and intimate connection on a soul level with all things as one. It is so pure that you will just break down and cry in the beginning. It'll still bring tears to my eyes. Right now, your whole body is so deeply connected with everything. And if you can't do it, get out in nature. Go utilize Gaia to support your body and help you raise your vibration back. This is about raising your vibration high enough. If you're having a hard time, your body's vibration is too low. If your body's vibration is too low, you can't be conscious. You can't even get your heart open. So it's really important to support your body. Natural, organic, whatever your body tells you it needs. Your body will tell you if you will listen to it. Your body will talk to you if you will listen to it. Your body will say this and that, but it's not going to fit into the boxes like the old days. The foods you eat are going to change. What your body needs, the amount of sleep it needs, will be a ridiculous amount of sleep. It will shut down in order to integrate light codes. It will wake up when it's done.
Yeah.
It's a completely different existence here. It doesn't look anything like your old existence did. Does it, Loren?
No, yeehaw, I have to say, because, you know, when we talk about new earth creations and creating new earth, and it begins with this sleep, it begins with this self-love, like you're saying, this alignment to this pure love, unity consciousness. And I love what you practice, Lisa, how you share about sleeping. When we go to sleep, really, I mean, some people probably are asleep right now during this conversation. Good. But that's okay. But when we go to sleep, it's really paying attention to you and your energy level. And when you wake up, you know, so many of us are programmed to get up and go. Or there's those belief systems like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, you lazy bum, get out of bed. But that's the opposite. This is what we're talking about, because literally, it literally means sleeping in until, if you have to sleep in until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Or the next day.
Or the next day.
Yes,
right?
Because your body's not done. What happens is when you shut down and go to sleep, your body, your linear mind gets out of the way, and your consciousness can do everything that it can't when you're awake. Eventually, your realities slip and merge, and everything that used to be in your sleep state is in your waking state, and you're just clearing timelines in your sleep. And so you're actually anchoring. Okay, so this is the simplest way that I can say it. You cannot anchor your dreams on a soul level here unless you sleep enough, because they're in your sleep state to start with. New Earth is in your sleep state to start with.
Okay.
You actually have to go to sleep for your consciousness to expand, so that you can actually see the other realities and wake up and start bringing them here. Once the heart is open long enough, then the pineal gland will open, because we have to go through all these processes to decalcify our pineal gland and all these things. Dark chocolate, the body will want dark chocolate when your crystals and your pineal gland and stuff. So, but once each person has, I don't like the word practice, but right now I have to use practiced consciousness and been conscious long enough, then your realities flip and merge. And everything that used to be a dream, you will be walking around in a lucid dream for a while, foggy, groggy, because all that foggy, groggy are the veils lifting. But for everybody saying, I don't have time to sleep, you're actually, apologies for the language, but you're kind of screwing yourself. You really are.
Yes.
Because you can't get to the higher dimensional realms with your body if you won't surrender to a process that's trying to make your life easier. This process doesn't fit into any belief systems, none. Multidimensionality does not fit into a linear concept of what reality is.
Well, thanks for going multidimensional on us.
Good. Well, and the thing about it is this means be kind to yourself. This means be
Yeah,
respectful to yourself. This
yeah.
means listen to your body. And a lot of people don't know which side of your body is laying on, is whether you're clearing past or future. I'm separating time for a moment. We don't function within the separation of time. We function from the present moment in 0 point field 24 hours a day. Okay. We use time as a reference to make a point. But when your body's moving back and forth and back and forth, or shifting to the left or the right, then you're actually moving between different timelines and existences and clearing all of that stuff. So when you go to the left, you're clearing the perception of the past and all those things that would have affected your physical reality here. When you move to the right, then you move over into what would have been a future reality, and you're clearing all that stuff too. When you're on your back, you can actually connect with the whole universe and actually travel and go into galaxies and all this stuff. So in the beginning, it's all done in the sleep state or a meditative state. For those who can meditate, they're able to do this. I was really strong masculine energy, so I couldn't meditate. I had to go to sleep. The more masculine, the more sleep. The more veils, the more sleep.
Mm.
Because we were deep, 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 deep beneath the veils. And it's called the Veils of Amnesia, and we couldn't remember before. Those veils are lifting, and that's why it's so chaotic for a lot of people, is because the confused state is the fourth dimension. Duality, the battle between the head and the heart, where you actually have to choose.
Mm.
And stuff. So the reason I break them down is so it actually does make it, it's not to make everybody linear, is to explain and simplify so that we actually can make our choices easier. If you can identify the dimension you're in, you can choose a different one.
So very quickly here,
Sure.
describe the third, fourth, and fifth. I mean, I guess we can say, yes, we know when we're in the fifth, it's bliss. The third is duality. And the fourth is
The
somewhere
third
in
is
between,
completely
right?
unconscious. The third is completely unconscious.
Completely unconscious.
Yeah.
Third is
Which, you know, unless you're going through what we call energetic or literal hell, that's the third dimension now. Because when we came through the 2012 gateway, what used to be heaven or hell that was metaphoric now becomes people's physical realities. If you were in the fourth dimension, you're in purgatory, you're in bardo, you're stuck in the space in between heaven and hell until you clear all those programs of duality out within yourself. It's the battle between your head and your heart. There's a lot of these things, but I'm using these things to bring everything into an understanding. The third dimension represents hell, and sometimes it's just emotional hell. Sometimes it's, you know, it might be the physical reality. Sometimes, but if you find yourself using the words, I feel like I'm in hell, that's the third dimension. If you look out into the world and it looks like all hell's broken loose, that's the third dimension. I mean,
it's out there, baby.
But the thing that when you're in the fourth dimension, you know, I'm writing a thing right now. I have a newer transition series that I've been writing about all this stuff to explain. Yeah. You don't wake up in the third dimension. You wake up in the fourth dimension, and then you to the fifth dimension and the third dimension, and then you have to start choosing heaven or hell. Okay. Your linear ego mind, the thoughts will be in your head, but they emanate from your root chakra and all of your body. So they're in every cell of your body. So most people don't know that your ears, I'm going to make this up to make a point. Most people don't understand. It took me forever to understand this stuff because you actually have to experience it yourself. The knowledge we bring forth is our own knowledge and our own experiences and what we've already come to understand and remember here. Okay? When you're listening to a thought, that's your ears translating a program or a code that is held in your body so you can hear it. Now, if you actually observe, like you were talking, Loren, and you listen to the thoughts, you can actually tell what vibration they are. You can feel them. You can tell what dimension, or whether that's coming from your root chakra or your heart chakra. And you do break things down into chakras for a while, but eventually all those collapse into one and open up multidimensional vortexes and all this kind of weird, bizarre stuff. But the thing about it is humans don't want to hear their thoughts, or they don't understand their thoughts because they judge their thoughts. You actually have to listen to them and say, that's not my reality anymore. You actually have to look at the external and say, that's not my reality anymore, but you're not angry.
All right.
It's just the way it is. And I wrote something down the other day. Let's see if I can find it. Hang on. Because it was really cool. One of my new things to write for people is, this was my experience in a previous timeline, but it's not my reality anymore.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything. You do whatever you want to, but we use the words have to, because if you would like the highest everything, you do have to. Otherwise, you're accepting less. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You have to challenge yourself. You have to identify your own ego programming. Let go of the judgment of your ego. That's like number one. And everybody that fears judgment or lives in judgment, it's not the outside world. It's your inner world. It's your inner matrix program. Most people, run around the matrix, the matrix. The matrix is inside of your body. You have an inner matrix that created the whole thing to start with. You go inside, find it, resolve it, dissolve it, let it go, move through it. Clear the emotion. The emotions are what keep people anchored there, the suppressed emotions. You have to honor the emotions, respect the emotions, because your body's waking up. The body was asleep. We feared pain. We feared feeling. We feared everything. And instead of fearing it, embrace it. Get really excited that it's time for all this stuff to go. I'm serious here. If you go through it with a mindset, the thing about it is most people don't understand that each dimension is a mindset. If your mindset is that you are less and you don't have enough, then that's your reality. If your mindset is that everybody's judging you, then that's your reality. If your mindset, but that means the program is inside of your body, it's in your energy. If your mindset is that you are so deeply connected with everything and you are completely abundant and all you care about is sharing the beauty and the magnificence, that's what your reality is returning to you. We have to pay attention to our mindsets, the stories we convince ourselves of, the words we use. All these things have to be completely recoded. Then we get into, and I'm not even going to go into it today, is your whole body becomes a quantum computer where you process a ridiculous amount of light data through you. So like when I'm talking and my eyes go back and forth, I'm reading light codes. It was funny because one day somebody wrote in and says, oh, we can't trust you. Your eyes are shifty. I'm reading light codes, people. We actually do read the entire field of consciousness. We read all realities and we have access to it from the inside through our pineal gland. So in the beginning, you will close your eyes to go inside, to open your third eye up so you can see. Eventually, everything turns into holograms, and you can actually see all realities simultaneously. And that's where we live from, is all the other dimensions. This dimension is the physical materialization of all the other dimensions. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to be able to affect the physical reality, you have to do it through your consciousness.
Here's to consciousness. Yay. Thank you, Lisa. Every time we have a conversation, it is worthy of listening to several times, because that's what you do. You really unravel us from those old programs. Thank you for anchoring us here in this current mindset, in this new earth frequency. I'm feeling elevated, and I know everyone's feeling elevated. The work that you do, you've got teachings that you offer people, and you go very deep in this topic and quantum energetics and alchemy.
Yeah.
and also quantum timeline jumping.
Yeah.
And these are courses that you've got that assist people along the way in service.
To
And those
simplify.
are available in a special offer for everyone
Yeah.
today. So I just want to give you a moment to talk about those, because it really does help people get into this new earth mindset, or let's call it heart set,
The
heart
energy of.
opening,
The energy of. This is
the
about the
energy.
energy of everything. You want to get into the energy of New Earth. You want to,
Yes.
and one thing I want to say, Lorraine, when you were talking a minute ago, is that you want, in order to up level,
Yes.
upshift our consciousness, you want to anchor up, not down.
Yes.
Okay, so anchor your consciousness higher. But the cool part is if you go really deep inside, you can expand into all the other dimensions. Whereas if, in the beginning, we would anchor up, but then you're kind of leaving the body to do that. And for a while, we do have to do that because you have to ascend your consciousness and everything back. But anchor to a higher dimensional timeline, a higher dimensional reality, and hold that no matter what. That's your new reality. And if you don't hold it, then you go back to play out an old reality. When
We
you
don't
said I
want
go
that.
really deep, depth is where we function from. So for the human, it's really deep, but for us, it's our everyday life. It's very simple. So even that is completely different here. But we share the knowledge, and when we start understanding that every moment is a quantum shift, every moment is timelines are collapsing constantly, and when they're collapsing, it's a convergence, it's a unification. And so if we're holding on to the old, we basically go through a lot of suffering, whereas if we will actually move with it,
Yeah.
and once we hit the fifth dimension and all the other dimensions start opening up, then it's time to step into higher service roles, and things will start coming really fast at us. When they do, our realities will actually start moving faster, and
Mm.
we move slower to move faster. You slow everything down to the present moment and bring it all to a halt, and then you move, and you're able to move and accomplish more on a quantum level. So it can be really easy as each person is ready to choose those ways. And so the courses that I teach are all to re-educate through exposure, re-educate through the knowledge, re-educate, because once we've been exposed to everything that I do, everything that I speak is light encoded. Everything is a transmission of higher light consciousness. That's why a lot of people go to sleep for a while. But the quantum timeline jumping is to explain when timelines are ready to collapse or need to be collapsed, we actually collapse them ourselves. And so to get to the place where you're actually intentionally collapsing them instead of being a victim to a collapse is a mastery within itself. And so understanding how the whole process works, that's what the quantum timeline jumping course is. I can't remember the exact name, but it works through and explains. And so you basically take that information and you learn to apply it to your life. You take that information and you're basically expanding your consciousness. It's an application process of the consciousness and the information, which is really important because that's how this works. And then the second one was understanding quantum energetics and alchemy. And it goes really deep, if you will, into on a quantum level, the energy that creates the energy of all things and how to understand things. And so everything I do is about breaking everything down to understand it and then reconstructing it a completely different way. Because this is a deconstruction, reconstruction. This is a break it down. Then you're basically bringing it back together through quantum photonics, through quantum geometrics. Our realities are all geometric and mathematical and equations, and everything is quantum here. When you function on a soul level, everything is quantum. It's not linear at all. It's all energetics. And then so that's what the things that these things do, is to assist with each person understanding more so that they actually can apply these things to their world, which is kind of cool.
Well, I know everyone watching this, listening to this, wants to function on the soul level. It is why we are here, and it's what we're waking up to. And I just thank you so much for that and for offering these teachings as well. Of course, that special offer is available on the links here for this video and on this webpage. And Lisa, one of the fun things that we do with you to continue to be unraveled in our consciousness is
Yes.
to hang out with you. We're going to hang out with you on a very powerful day, 11 11
Oh
11,
yeah.
because this is 2018 is an 11 year. Add the numbers up. And I want to invite everyone to join us for that one too. That's an online healing retreat. Those go for, that's a course in itself because
Oh yeah.
we spend an afternoon with you, and this is a powerful gateway. So we invite
It's a
everyone to join us.
beyond powerful, and it will actually open a few days before, usually, and a few days after. So the 11/11 is the actual day of the gateway itself, but we're not bound to linear time, so it'll already be going. So it'll be important to do this together for everybody that wants to join, just because of what this gateway means, which is huge. So um, gateways open up all new possibilities. Gateways open up just massive expansion on a soul level, on a multidimensional level. And so doing something like this together gives us the capability to when we do things together, we anchor them in together. We bring them into our consciousness together. And each person can expand their consciousness a lot easier. So it's an amazing opportunity to do this together in order to go through this gateway. And the information always comes through when the gateway opens, which is why, I don't do a lot of things too far in advance unless, like all the DNA stuff, all these things we write about, they're always occurring. But there are certain things like all the soul codes and the stellar codes and the star codes that are coming through 24 hours a day. The knowledge and the information from that is really important for each person to be able to integrate it as it becomes available. And so this gateway is going to open up like a ridiculous amount of awesomeness for everybody that's really on board. So I'm excited.
I am excited too. And we're going to talk about how you really recognize those star codes within you and how you decode them, right? Because it's an internal journey too.
It is, and you do it. One, it has to be done through purity.
Mm.
Can't bring any ego in. Your ego actually blocks all your access. That's why dissolving and resolving and surrendering the ego is so important, because it actually stops you from receiving everything that's available and living the most amazing and magnificent everything. And so as you surrender your ego and you open up to reconnect from inside to the depth of the core of your being, when you go deeper beneath all of the surface stuff that's there, then you actually gain access to everything that you lost access to when we fell from consciousness. And so it's a reconnected state, and it gives us access. And it took me years to decipher it all. It meant staying completely in tune 24 hours a day and listening to all the frequencies and learning what each one did, learning how to decipher them, learning. And what will happen is, as your heart opens, your pineal gland activates. And when your pineal gland completely opens up through diamond light code consciousness and cosmic rainbow consciousness and all of these things that your whole body does, then you're given access to see everything that isn't visible, otherwise visible. Again. Ooh, I lost. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Did
We
you
had
lose
power
power
go
in your
off.
house, or was that a sun
Yeah.
going behind the cloud?
No, we lost power like for 2 seconds. So just in case. But let me see if I can finish this before something happens. It just means there's a reset going on. Every time it happens, it's a reset. So
Well, we are activated here from this conversation. Let me tell you that. We are all activated.
one thing that's really important for everybody to understand is our entire existence is based upon light codes now.
Okay.
Okay. And so the reason I'm doing this with the light codes on the gateway is, as each person is ready to open up to embody all of these light codes into their physical body and hold these higher states of consciousness, then their whole reality gets reworked for them much easier. And so it's important because our whole reality now is based upon our light codes, and the level of consciousness that each one of us achieve, we can bring each person into that level of consciousness that we hold. So when I'm working with people, I'm sharing my light codes and my knowledge. Does that make sense? And so
Well,
each person is being activated to that through the connection, through in everything that we do. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that is Lemurian. That is the Lemuria rising. It's what we were, right?
Well, it's everything. And so for everything that I do, because of this isn't ego, it's just to explain. Everybody get over the ego part of this, okay?
Right.
Once you elevate your consciousness and achieve certain things within yourself, then you embody that. Going through many years of completing, if you will, completing the ascension process to move into avatar consciousness. When you hold avatar consciousness, you can actually activate all those codes in each person you connect with, in their body, in their field, in their DNA, and all of these things. So it's diamond light code consciousness. It is going to be rainbow, cosmic rainbow consciousness. It's every multidimensional consciousness, because avatar consciousness is the embodiment of the entire oversoul and monad. It's the entire 144 template. And so, but the activation of consciousness and then the entire rebuilding and construction and the template phase takes years. It's not an overnight process. And so all of us who do what we do, we are sharing the encodements in order to activate each person through presence, through participation, through their openness to receive. And it's through our presence and our transmission and our energy. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it actually explains what we were talking about earlier with family and how we kind of have to maybe move away to allow this to come forth, and then these will come forth and assist those beings to join us.
Yeah, it's really important. It's really, really important. All of this is for each person. It's really, and the thing about it is, more than it is important, everybody has waited for this. On a star being level, on a galactic level, on a soul level, each one of us, this is what we came here for. This is what everybody wants. So even if we don't understand it yet and we don't know it deep inside of us, we do want this. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's why we all came here. Yes.
So anyway,
So,
but this is important because light codes, all of the light encodements are now what activates the higher dimensional realities to come into fruition a whole lot faster for each person now.
hallelujah.
Yeah.
Really wonderful. Yay. So enjoy those light codes. Look at the sun, take photos of our sun, and enjoy. Lisa,
Open
this
your
has
heart.
been an enlightening conversation, a cosmic quantum conversation. And I thank you so much for this. And I know everyone's feeling it. And we invite everyone to come back and listen to it again, because it's really important, like you say, and it really changes us and shifts us.
It's
So
for
thank you.
humanity.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, sweetheart. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Lisa.
You
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Bye.